What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, ReadOptionAgency.com, 22 years, selling full-time on eBay. And we're going to do a Numbers Friday. Yay! I'm going to feed you every number I can on what's going on with my store, eBay. So you can make any decisions for yourself, what will work for you, what will not work for you, and etc., etc. So, how can I start? I don't know. Let's wing it, of course, like always. All right, let's start with the basis. We all know eBay's going in a direction we all pretty much despise. Check. We all know that emotions and business don't mix. Look at some of my videos for the past year. Where'd that get me? It just got me views. That's all it got me. It didn't get the business anywhere. And so many of you out there, of course, have all these emotions too, as I, tied up in the changes and the problems and all this going on with the eBay website. So, I gotta say, I'm probably about a week in of really removing myself from the business. I'm looking at myself as more of a machine right now than a human. Like, okay, what do I need to do to tweak to make this work? Boom, boom, boom. Because with my situation, emotions slow the process. When you have bad sales and you let it bother you, you're not as productive. You don't get as much listed, etc., etc. So I'm about a week removed. I feel comfortable saying a week removed. So we're going to go over what the week looked like. I'm going to go through everything I've changed, all the promotion numbers, everything. So we are 8 days into the month. I am 15 days into the new promotion, the off-site promotion. I am 15 days. Oh, there was a question, several questions. How many days did it take for the off-site promotions to get started, really? I think it was about 4 to 5 days before it really started anything showing up. It was several days. So I see a lot of you at 3 days. Give it another day or so, you're going to start seeing something. You should start seeing something anyway. So it does take almost a week. At the beginning of this promotion, I decided I'm going to put my promoted standard at a certain percentage, and I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to do it for the whole month also. Then I can get a real full picture of using both, what it will look like, and not go in and change it every few days at the end of the week, whatever I was doing. If I was having a bad day, I went in and changed it, right? My goal when I started the off-site is just set it at a number, see what the results are from these two working together, and then make any adjustments needed to after 30 days. So that's the basis of what we're going on. So the promotions have been running for 15 days steady. I'm trying to think if we should do 2 weeks, or I think we'll just do 1 week looking at most of the stuff, and then we'll do a month overall. Well, that's pretty much the same thing. Month overall, it's only 8 days in. Well, actually only 7 full days in, so a month, it's the same thing. So since it took a while to really get the offsite going, we'll just look at the last week. I'll call a month from December to December, the end of December. So it'll technically be about a week over, but it took almost a week for it to get started. So that's a good way to look at it, December to January 1st. All right, so that's what we'll call it. So we'll call it the first week of December, first week of solid cylinders working. or not working. All right, so, but start with yesterday. Yesterday made it to $682, 5.6% up. So it's good to see me going up finally. That took a minute. Traffic yesterday, organic split, 39 items sold, 30 promoted, 9 organic. So that's actually up. Not counting December 1st. Well, counting December 1st. That was my second highest item number days, 39, which is still low. But again, there's several factors. We got the search, we got the economy, et cetera, et cetera. So what have my changes done? And here's the thing about these changes too. And this could work for you too. Like, you may have to promote at a different percentage, say now, because of the economy, as opposed to and the search problems, than say next summer. By next summer, if something's fixed, whether that's economy and or search, we might not have to promote as high. There's always going to be different variables to change things. So don't always think you're stuck at a certain percentage. I would say that, because there's too many variables involved, right? Especially right now. So we are Friday. We are at 9:30 a.m. At 9:30, I'm at $150. So the first thing I'll say, this week, for most of the days, I've been back into my 150 to 250 range by 10 a.m. That's where I used to be, and then for the longest time I wasn't. So one positive is that has returned. That could be because of fourth quarter. But there's been, like, the nights have been odd, been kind of the mornings to the mid-afternoon has been different, but the evenings and nights have been the same. So it almost feels like the mornings have been cracked, but the overnights and the evenings have not been cracked yet. So that's what it feels like from here. So, so my low every day now is $430, and I'm probably going to have to bump that up to probably about $440 now, and I'll tell you why when we get into percentages. We can probably just call it $450 to be safe. That being said, I've hit beyond that number every day this month thus far. So that's a positive. I'm going to get my daily average here. So we're going to go custom. We're going to go the 1st through the 7th. Generation clash. All right. So the first week in December, sales are $4,547.57, up 11.8% from last month. Compared to last year, how much are we down? Down 26.4%. So I was down 40%. So that's gotten better. 4547.57 divided by 7 is $649. So at this rate, I could put my salary back to full at this rate. So that's at least a good thing. But I got to pay off the vacation first. And then this has got to keep going, obviously. But like I said, we're in fourth quarter, so that could be the biggest positive, you know. So since I started the off-site ads, what I did, okay, here's what I did. On the promoted standard, I went ahead and set mine a little higher than I normally do. I wanted to kind of go all in for December and see where it leads me. So I put my promoted at 17%. Normally I do 12 to 15. I'm like, I'm just going to click it at 17. I'm going to put like all in scenario, if you will. Like I would probably never go, I'll never say never, but definitely don't want to hit 20. I know that 20 and 19 always seem to do the same as 15 for my store. So I'm like, let's try 17. And then I started the off-site ads. So, as you know, 99% of the product I have is paid for, so I have no costs in it. So this method will not work for everyone. And that's the thing I need to stress about when I tell you this information. I try to give you all the information so you're making an educated decision on your situation. Your situation's probably going to be different than anybody else's, depending on your costs, what you're selling, etc., etc. So, all these people out there who are playing the game of smack talking me and my store, etc., etc. I'm giving you all that information. Use it. If it's working for me, why are you worried about it? Plus, I'm giving you all these tools to say, this is what's working in this situation, this is what's not working in this situation. I mean, they complain like they want somebody to run their store for them almost. Or they think they're running everybody's store. And it's like, so that being said, I wanted to keep my costs at 50% or less. My costs include eBay fees, promotion fees, shipping costs. So I wanted to keep it at 50%. So if I have an $800 day, that means $400 would go into my pocket. Since I started the off-site ad, it has jumped up to 53%. So it has taken it up. Like I said the other day, I haven't done the math today. I might be able to do the math today. I was running as if the off-site promotions were running at 18%. So that was only 1% over the 17 standard I was pushing on eBay anyway. So at 17, and I'll check now, and 18% promoted, I'm running at a 53% costs. So instead of, if I did 800 and 400 go in my pocket, 390 or whatever would be going in my pocket. So a little bit less. That being said, my average per sale item has gone up. As you know, I took all my low items and put them up to $9.95, and you've seen a lot of $9.95 items selling for me. Those would have been less than that prior. So average selling price per item for me is $18.19. That is up 17.4%. So that's going in the right direction. So that's good. Let's see what else works here. See, because like compared to last year, I've only sold 250 items this week. That's down 37% from last year. So that's a big number. That being said, I also had $4.19 items then, and I don't now. So I'm trying to make that difference up, but with higher dollar items, which in turn will raise all my numbers. The best way to get that 53% back down to under 50 is higher dollar items. Having items that are paying out a lot more than the shipping cost, if you will. Like selling a $50 item that's only costing me $3, $4 to ship. That's really going to bring that number down. So That being said, 53% pay attention to what my items sell for. If your selling per cost is over 18% or $18, then that number would be better for you. So I know I missed stuff, so I try to explain everything because I don't even have a business mind. I have my business mind, right? And there might be people out there who just don't understand their own business, let alone somebody else's, and they like to trash talk and stuff, and put themselves in a position to think they know what they're speaking of. And I've always said everybody's got an answer, but nobody has a clue. That's that kind of a situation. But then there's people out there who may see something with what I'm talking about and see it differently. That might be able to teach me something. So, works both ways. Because, like I said, I am not an expert. I just I've been winging it for 22 years, right? I didn't go to school for this. My college, this was my college, you know? My college of business school. Figure it out. Throw you in the deep end and figure it out. Sink or swim. So 17%. Let's look at my advertising dashboard. And we are going to go. I'm going to look at my promoted. Yeah, I can do 7 days. Let me do custom. I can do custom here too. So the first through, then I can know I'm getting accurate numbers. So on my promoted standard, that's promoting on eBay, we've got, let's see, impressions are up 10%, clicks are up 13%, sold items are up 11%. This is from, I guess, last month. Either last month or the week before. I'm not sure which one this is countering against. Sales on promoted, $3,106, up 11%. Return on ad spend, 5.93. That's down 0.45%. Sale conversion, 2.13, down 0.04%. Average sold ad rate, 16.87%, up 1.20%. Ad fees, 524%, up 19%. That's the worst one right there. But that's probably because I went up to 17%. When I was doing, I think it went up from 12 to 17. So it was a big jump. That's the standard. Off-site, for the same time period, for the 1st through the 7th, we got 19 sold, up 90%. Sales, $341, up 104%. Return on ad spend is at 7%. That's up 2.64. Sales conversion rate, 4.51%. Average click, pay per click, 12 cents. And my ad fees, $49. So it took $49 to make $342. So how did I do the math? It was, hold on, I gotta remember how I did the math. I forgot how I did the math. Oh, no. Dang, I forgot how I did the math. It's morning still. I forgot how I did it. So it's $18 per average item sold. I think it's the money spent divided by 19. No. I can forget how I did it. Ugh. Brain farting here. These are new numbers for me, and I'm forgetting what I did. And I did it like that the first time. I didn't even have to think about it. I just knew what to do. And now I'm losing everything right now. Hold on. What am I trying to figure out here? I'm trying to figure out the percentage, the amount I spent per item I sold. So if I spent $49 on 19 items, that's 2.58. So it took $2.58 per item. Dude, I'm sorry. I am totally blanking here. At $16. Okay. And what did I say? It was $18 per item, or was it $16? So 2.58. So let's just round it to 250 so I can remember. 341.70 divided by 19 is $18. So 250. That's actually come down then, right? So 10% would be $1.80. And it's at 250. So maybe half that. So it'd be, I guess, 15%. Yeah. So it's come down about let's just say 3%. So it's like I'm promoting outside of eBay at, since I knew it, just say 15 to 16%. If I did my math right. Where right now I'm promoting on eBay at 17%. So still right about the same. Is this, and the whole point of this is finding that sweet spot for my store, for my items. Plus trying to keep it below 50%. The more, who's to say that, this number's been getting better, so who's to say it still won't go down a little bit more, and then all I have to do is tweak my 17 back down to say 15, and I'll get back under that 50%. So that's what this whole month test is for. So giving up right now an extra 3% in the first week than I want to. I think that covers all of that. Boom, 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 boom. And you got to think, like this process wouldn't work if every item I sold cost me $1 at the price that I'm selling them for, et cetera, et cetera. Like this wouldn't work if I paid $1 for every item. So that's the margin of difference, because that would be an extra. How many I say sold this week? 250. So that would have been extra $250 this week that would have been put into my selling costs. I wouldn't have taken up that much, but just something as simple as that can tweak a number. So I want to do let's see, the top selling items for the week. Because I sold a couple of big dollar cassettes, so I wouldn't be surprised if cassettes took over the number 2 spot. Oh, whoa, that's a big change. Wow, I did not expect that. Let me make sure I got this right. I do. All right. Well, wow. I did not expect that. All right. Coming in at number 5, vinyl records. So vinyl records for the past 7 days sold $199, down 4.8%. Coming in at number 4, t-shirts, men's t-shirts, $273.46, up 567%. Number 3, music cassettes, $609.46, up 36.1%. Number 2, men's hats drop. Wow. $672.65, down 27.3%. So my hats have dropped. They do drop in the winter. I didn't expect them to drop. Well, I did put up a lot of metal CDs and stuff, so that could have boosted my CD. So number 1 is music CDs. Almost a little over $100 more made on CDs the past week. $763.72, up 11.3%. So the drop in hats with the listing those metal CDs and stuff made them flip-flop. Interesting. Interesting. And I've been putting up some hats lately, so I'll just keep going. Keep going. The goal is to get all the numbers up. So yeah, the number that I'm going to pay attention to the most right now is comparing it to last month. So $4,548, up 11%. So fourth quarter, that number should definitely be up more than 11%, but everything is what it is right now. So December will dictate what I need to do percentage-wise, whether the offsite ad's going to continue to work. And I'll probably have to take that 17 back down, to my normal numbers. So, because I'm getting a little bit extra ad fee from the outside. So, but like I said, if it's averaging the same, then maybe that's the sweet spot for my store, for the types of items I sell. So right now we're sitting at about 15 to 17% is the sweet spot. Will that come down? That's what we'll know as time goes on. So, but like I said, who's to say that ain't going to change when the search engine's better, when the AI has learned its thing? Then we may only have to promote it 10% and get the same type of results because people are finding what they're searching for. So I'm hoping the outside Google thing will give me a high-end number. Like if it comes in after a month that everything costs me 15% to promote on Google, I would think that when eBay's working properly, then I shouldn't have to go over 15% to score good sales on eBay. I actually should be able to do it at less. But that's what at least my view right now is sitting at. We'll see if that changes or not. But hey, I am hitting the dollar amounts I need to. I am hitting dollar amounts that I needed to before I lowered my payroll. So that's good. Will that continue in January after Christmas buying? We will see. Hopefully it will. But hopefully what will change will be the search engine, and finding the stuff on eBay will become easier for people. So hopefully that balance it'll stay balanced, because shipping or Christmas might die off a little, but the search engine got better, which would still level it back out. Speculation. It's all we can do right now. There's, like I said, it's really hard to get a legit answer when there's so many different variables right now that changes literally not just on a daily basis, but by user basis when it comes to search. So but if you hit your numbers doing the way you were doing it, that's all that matters. You don't want to promote? If you're making the numbers you need to make, good on you. You're paying your bills and it's working out and you're happy. That's what it's all about. You got to do what works for you so you don't feel the stress. If you are feeling the stress, but you're also going, I ain't doing promoted, well, you're letting your emotions make the decisions for you. And I once knew a person like that. My mother. My mother hated everything new. My mother was never successful at anything. That's the one thing my mom taught me. My mom taught me a lot of how not to be, because she was always mad and angry and didn't like this and didn't like anything new and was always right. She literally lived her life sitting at the kitchen table. Literally. I mean, she walked outside to get the mail. I believe it was. No. She walked out back to do something. One day, fell over, went in the hospital and never came out. So she literally lived her day, all of her life, sitting at a kitchen table. She never became successful at anything. And the one thing I took from that is, don't be emotional or don't be angry about changes and new things, because it gets you nowhere. You either work with it or you go a different direction, you know? But like I said, if you can promote and you're happy with your numbers, beautiful. I wish I could do that, but unfortunately I can't. So and I don't really want to, you know? I like playing with new toys, so I don't like giving up more money, but I like playing with new toys. I like figuring things out, so embrace that. Something on my back, maybe an ingrown hair on my back or something. Maybe it's just a pimple. I mean, I'll be the first to say eBay was a whole lot nicer 2 years ago. And it's not coming back. Not at least not with this CEO in charge. It's not coming back. So you either play the game or you don't play the game. Depends on what works for you and what doesn't. So all right, let's get into some sold. I got 3 items from vacation at least that has sold. 3 different items that I bought on vacation, so that's awesome. So let's get into this. Let's get this stuff shipped. But yeah, I'm happy with, even at 53% right now, I'm happy, because for the past week I've hit over my number I need to hit and over the number I used to need to hit. So everything, at least this week, has been boink. Works perfect for me. Perfecto mundo. Would I like to give eBay less and put more in my pocket? Hell yeah. But for my situation, I'm happy with where it's at. And that's all that matters. And that's a lot better than I was in the way I was looking at it and going at it and attacking it, etc., etc. So And then being in a better headspace keeps me more focused, keeps me enjoying every aspect of it, and it doesn't deter me from motivation. So, okay, that's going to Canada. Got a couple of notes there. Trying to see if it's one of you guys. Nope. No, not at least in those notes. All right. Only one international overnight, unfortunately. So let's get this puppet started. Got like 19 items, but I'm happy about 3 of them. Very happy. I'm happy about all of them, but 3 of them make me really happy. First up, we got Vineyard Vines hat. Sold for $10, headed to Jacksonville, Florida. But yeah, I mean, I'm not happy about the 53, but I'm not mad. I expected it to go up at least until that outside ad is fully bloomed. And I'm hoping it'll go down. And it should go down a little bit more, I would think. So, I think it'll go down before it'll go up. Because I want to say, like, people on Google are more, like on eBay, you're going to have resellers even clicking on your stuff, right? Where on Google, you got more people who are shopping who's going to click on it. You got the consumer. Where eBay, you're going to have, you know, if you're doing the promoted advance, how much of your money is being spent on resellers doing research and comps, checking your item out to compare it to their item to list. So I could see that number being a higher percentage than a consumer clicking on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, say you got item X and you just paid your advance promoted and you paid for 10 clicks. How many of those clicks were resellers comping their items? How many were consumers wanting to maybe buy that item? I could see 60%, depending on your item, obviously. I could see more clicks coming from resellers comping their items than consumers really wanting to buy. Where I think Google is more consumer based. You see what I'm saying there? So, how many items per day do you click on when you're comping prices? I personally don't. I usually just look at the price and go because I'm quick like that. I like to keep it simple if I do comp anything. But for you guys, how many items do you click on actually when you're comping for your item? We got this Cobra hat that just says Fisher on the side. Sold for $9.50, headed to Tempe, Arizona. So why do I want to pay, X amount for a click? Because another reseller clicked on it. Say it's not 60%, but for me, one click is too many. Yeah. I think that's the good number to keep an eye on is what the selling percentage would be for the outside ads. And right now it's sitting a little bit lower than my standard ad fee. But that's probably still higher than you would be willing to give. You meaning the ones who might be complaining about giving anything at all. So, got to work with what you got, you know. Striper, To Hell with the Devil CD. Sold for $10, headed to Massachusetts. One way to not pay promoted is source and sell only items that work that way, you know. Basically, unique one-off type of items, or being one of a very few people that has it. And if that's easy for you to get, boom, you go. Success comes in many different packages. Always remember that. What works for you may not work for somebody else. First up, from, where did this glitter come from? You? Yeah. You were in a Christmas bin, weren't you? Bad piggy. Bad piggy. Getting glitter all over everything. We'll get to him in a minute. But another one of my CDs, or 45s. If you remember, on vacation, I bought that big box of 45 records, the clog dancing and square dancing stuff. Paid $100 for that whole box of several hundred 45s. I believe this is number 4 that has sold. And I've made back $60 of that 100 so far. So 4 out of probably like 3 or probably 4 to 500. I didn't even count for those vinyls. And sold 4, made $60 back so far. So boom, I like it. Thunderbirds Trucking Around. Sold for $16, headed out to California. I knew it'd be a slow turn on these things. I was hoping for what's happening, but I was expecting it to take longer. So we'll see how long it actually does take to make my 100 back. And plus, that's obviously before fees. I was hoping some of the people who did the calls on the dancing thing, like the square dancing type, the calls when the people were talking the song, basically, some of their families would start buying this stuff. Oh, my grandpa, that was my grandpa. All right, next up we've got this vintage Westport Limited winter scene sweatshirt. That sold for $12, headed to Washington. All right, 14. Renee. Doink. We got Appreciation Night CD. Sold for $13, headed to Northbrook, Illinois. Buyer states, "Hello, I'm so excited about this CD. Thanks so much." Oh, I'm so excited you bought the CD. Thank you so much. I thought about, like, do I promote my YouTube channel with all these orders? Like, that could bring a lot of people to the channel. So I've been playing the pros and cons of that in my head. They would get to know the seller, which may turn into more sales down the road. It'd be aimed at consumers. Oh. I don't know. But would that deter people? Oh, he put a video where he only paid $1 for this thing, and I just paid $17 for it. Well, that don't make me happy. So there's people like that too. So that's the con that's always stopped me from doing it. Next up, we got this Kevin Locke cassette. So for 6:30, headed to Washington. Yep. Next up, another item from... I thought this would be the last pig that sold. I bought those Harley Davidson pigs, but I bought this one who's not a Harley pig, but he had a Harley patch on him. And I didn't want to put Harley in the title. Because this ain't even a real Harley patch. It's a owner's group patch. So I couldn't put Harley in the title no matter what. So I figured that would be the... I did put motorcycle owners group. Just didn't put the word Harley. So, and it was the first one that sold. Sold for $25. Headed to New Jersey. What did I pay for all of? I think I paid $40 for all 5. There was 4 or 5. So $25. You're squishy. Put you in one of these. So I've been doing my walking, but on top of it, I've been eating better. So I got on the scale last night thinking, okay, last time I was on the scale, I was 189. And I'm like, all right, I've been eating better. I've been walking 4 nights now. I'm like, where am I at? I expected to maybe be the same. It jumped up to 196. I'm like, what? I must not be taking in enough water. I must be retaining water hugely or something. And then I know muscle weighs more than fat, but that's only 4 days. How much muscle are you going to build in 4 days compared to fat? So I'm like, what the hell? I think it's based, I'm not drinking enough water is what I think it is. So I think I'm retaining a lot of water right now. Even though I don't feel bloated. So I think that's what it is. So. But it'll go down. That won't show up on there. At least I'm doing the right things, going in the right direction. That's what matters. Next up, we've got... Did I forget to pull that? I did. D77. We got a classical cassette. Headed to Denton, Texas, sold for $7. Plus, I'm feeling good, though. My legs feel a lot better. I'm moving more. I'm actually kind of like, I hate, before I started this new mindset, I'm like, I've always hated exercising in the cold. It was like, no, I am never going to ride my bike in the cold. That's just miserable, blah, blah. And now that I'm looking at it like I want to torture myself, I want it to be cold. Like I'm looking forward to it snowing and me out there for an hour going, yeah, I'm doing this. Totally weird. For me, anyway, I'm like, what the hell? I'm actually looking forward to being miserable. But then in return, not really being miserable. Just sleet, rain, here I go, let's go. Like I'm feeling more amped up about the crappier the weather would be. Like yesterday it was like 50 degrees, or it was 58 degrees when I left, but it still felt like probably like 48 because a little bit of wind was going. But I'm like, oh man, why can't it be colder? Like I want to suffer. It's weird. The 4 Freshman vinyl record sold for $9.95. Headed to Indianapolis, Indiana. $9.95. Was that an offer that just came through? No, what was that? So I haven't had a sale in an hour now. But last night, instead of turning off at 9:30, it seems to turn off at 10:30. And then didn't come back on until like 5:30. Still an early shutdown than what used to be. But I've been getting, like yesterday, I got like 2-hour blanks, especially in the evening. So I was hoping that Google would change that part of it, you know. Mickey. I would like to see that Google number sold climb high. We will see though. Marty Robbins cassette sold for $9.95. Headed to California. Next up, we've got a Jan find. A Jan book. Got it on vacation. She paid $35 for 9 different ones. I think we've done made our money back. This one sold for $15. Headed to Chillicothe, Missouri. Chillicothe, Missouri. Never heard of it. So $15. Alrighty. Let's see what we do here. In some bubble wrap. If you will. It fits in here. That you will. Awesome. Let's cut down this box. Oh, it looks like the sides are already perforated to fold. That's good on this one. right where I need it to. Not all the sides, the smaller sides anyway. Oh no, all sides are. Awesome. Just couldn't see it because of the glare of the light. I like perforated boxes. Beautiful. Make it nice and clean. Nice and clean. Let's get rid of you. Nice and cleaner anyway. It's not perfectly done, but good enough for me. You don't need to be there. Don't like when you do that. Fold over on it. Fold over on me. Boink. All right. Got 15 by 12 by 6. 15, 12, 6, 2, 1. Rachel. Rachel. Next up, we've got Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird hat. That's over $9.50. Headed to another Washington. A lot of Washingtons today. What up with that? I can't do it like Hurricane Helms. What up with that? If you're a wrestling fan, you know who I'm speaking of. Shane Helms broke into the business. He's with the Hardys, right? I know he's friends with Hardys. I think he broke in about this. He broke in maybe earlier with WCW. Maybe not earlier, but he was with WCW before he was with WWE. I do believe. Yeah, because they had that boy band parody wrestling group. I believe he was part of that. WWE. I forget what they were called, though. Christina. Next up, we've got Blay Construction Company, 50 years. Headed to Hannibal, Missouri, sold for $10.50. Boo, 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 boo. It's good to see my t-shirts kicking into my top 5. Not just at number 5 either. They're at number 4. Keep going, growing the t-shirts. Speaking of, next up we got Texas Longhorn. Headed to Texas, sold for $12, even though this one would have been called NCAA, not a t-shirt, because it was an NCAA pack or category. That's weird. Like my pre-things are already filled in, but they're filled in. I don't think I filled them in for t-shirts. Maybe I did. Huh. Corey. Next up, another t-shirt, but still will not count as a t-shirt. Because it's a hockey shirt. Sold for $13.50, headed to Union, Missouri. Between Washington and Missouri today, what's going on there? That's another thought. Maybe everything out on Google will offset some of the, what feels like location searches. I don't know. You know me, just hoping for the best. Hoping for the best. I'm trying to look at like a year from now. Hoping in a year from now, eBay's better. Like I'm shooting for, I want $1,000. Like, even though I feel like I should be doing 1,000 a day if everything was perfect, I'm shooting at a year from now. Even if everything's not perfect, I'll be pulling in 1,000. That's what I'm shooting for. Meaning that if it is perfect in a year from now, I should pull in 1,500 a day. That's what I'm shooting for. Keeping that goal, just keeping a short-term goal in view is what I'm doing. Baby Song Christmas cassette sold for $9.98, headed to Ohio. So kind of concentrating more on a little future outcome and not being discouraged with what's going on now. Just trying to utilize it as best as I can. Figure that out. Figures it out. I'll just start another stack there. Linda Davis cassette. Sold for $7, headed to New Jersey. And have fun along the way. Matthew. Have a little fun along the way. We've got a shirt that looks like I misspelled. Yeah. American Blue, and I typed in, left the E out. A vintage striped shirt. Sold for $15, headed to North Carolina. That's a t-shirt. Yes. Another t-shirt for the win. And then we got one international. Where are the sales at this morning? It's Friday. Dag nabbit. Sales, where are you? Where are your sales? Still at 150. I don't think that was record. I forget where the record spot was. And now that we're late into this video and all the people who don't like me are already gone, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching me fail right here. These items falling over. But no, just for sticking around and just being supportive with everything. It's appreciated. Also, to remember to think, try your hardest to keep emotion out of it and try hard to think in a business way when it comes to decisions. What works best for the business, i.e. also you. That's not emotionally driven, you know. And speaking on all this promoted crap, you know, it makes none of us happy. But there's a lot going on right now, you know, with the economy and eBay's website. I mean, you guys know, you see it every day. If you decide to do something today, doesn't mean you have to tomorrow. Because it may be better tomorrow. The economy, etc., etc. Kind of always just like weigh the options, you know. Basically, okay, yes, I'm given, if I'm given eBay more, I want more on top of that, you know. So if I do X, will it bring me more income? Because like I said, it's not going to change anytime soon. And definitely, I don't think it's going to change with this CEO in charge. He's probably committed, job committed, meaning, you know, the dude's probably rich anyway, so he don't care monetarily for himself. Hey, that was actual sale, I heard. But so people like that who don't have to worry about money, he's going to be more stance on his decisions, more firm on his decisions than whether if it's going to fail or not, because his ego's probably driving it, going, oh, it's going to work. It's going to work. I see it working. Even if all the numbers coming back, oh, just give it a little bit more time. It's going to work. I think he would end up losing his job before he would say it's not working. So then the question comes, well, if you're running with emotions, are your emotions, you know, are they hurting you by not taking advantage of some of the changes in order to increase your money going into your bank account? And sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow. I mean, look how emotionally driven I was for so long, with just angry about it all. And what did it do? It just made us not feel alone, you know, because other people were experiencing it. That's the positive that came out of it. But that didn't monetarily benefit any of us. It didn't spark us to be motivated to list more. Oh, cool. Printed up yesterday. So try not to have the emotions involved. Do your best to separate them. It's hard. It's very hard. Next up, we got a Bird Brain CD. Don't be a bird brain. Headed up to Canada. Sold for $7. $4, $6.99. Don't be a bird brain, like I was, like I am. Pirate ship just freeze up on me? What the hell? There we go. All right, got a couple of CDs here to resurface, and I'm off to the post office. So thanks, everybody, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.